Bam! Bam! My peoples. Another episode of Boxing for Breakfast is about to go down. Get ready for this smoke. We getting these fights tonight, y'all. Be right back, fellas. We about to get this smoke. Get ready. I got this prediction for you. I know who's going to win tonight between Mario Barrios and Ryan Garcia. I'll be right back, y'all. Bam! My peoples. My peoples. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Y'all know what we doing, man. We talking boxing. But let me kick this thing off by saying, yo, if God gave you another day, you lucky to be here, my peoples. We breathing one more for us, baby. Thank you, God. Yes, sir. Always thank the Most High for giving us the opportunity to be here. Let me give a shout out to everybody who already tuning in. Sai in the building. MS in the hizzy. Toy Mafia, what's the deal, my G? John Parham, salute, brother. Bam! Fellas, I'm going to kick this thing off right away with the smoke. You guys know we've been talking about Ryan Garcia, Mario Barrios. It's finally going down tonight, which, by the way, you know I'm going to be calling it. I am going to be giving you guys that elite level commentary, so tune in tonight. Fight Night with Jay Smith is going to be lit. Devastating blow, ladies and gentlemen. I've got a feeling it's going to be that type of situation that we're going to witness tonight. But let me just tell you right away, I know who's going to win this fight. It took a long time for me to make this prediction. It was a difficult prediction to make because Ryan Garcia, you know, he can fight. He got power. Mario Barrios, he got his skills. He's a legitimate world champion. Who's going to win this fight? And everybody's all over the place. Some people saying Ryan Garcia is going to knock him out. Some people saying Mario Barrios is going to knock him out. I seen Conor Benn saying that he put hella money on Mario Barrios to put the beat down on Ryan Garcia. So if you listen to the outside noise, for me, it's impossible to make a prediction because, you know, it's all over the place. I would say it's like 50-50, y'all. The people who have come on the show on Boxing for Breakfast and made their opinion, made their prediction about this fight, it's like 50-50. Half of the people saying that that Ryan Garcia is going to win by stoppage, and then the other half is like, nah, Mario Barrios got this. But I'm going to tell you, you guys remember that I said, I'm going to wait till the weigh-in. I'm going to wait till the weigh-in. I'm going to wait till the weigh-in before making a decision. Well, that's what they weighed right there. Mario Barrios exactly 147. Ryan Garcia 146.5. Now, how did they look? They both look strong. They both look like they were in great shape. But I'm going to tell you who's going to win this fight and where I saw the edge. I saw an edge that I needed to see. John Parr, I'm not sure if Ryan can beat Ben. For this fight right here, I saw an edge for Ryan Garcia. I was looking for edge for somebody. Ryan Garcia is going to win tonight. There you have it. That's the Jay Stradamus prediction. I saw a video. I don't know if Mario Barrios had a runny nose or a cough or what it was, but I saw a video about him potentially having the flu or dealing with symptoms of the flu. That gave me enough. That's it. It was tough to make that prediction. That right there gave me enough to tell you Ryan Garcia is going to whoop him. Ronaldo, you saw man getting 15 mils to fight in Zuffa Boxing. You said they will get some name. You was right. Appreciate it, my brother. And they're going to keep getting names. Because look, somebody asked me that yesterday, and I said probably not because I hadn't seen that. Conor Benn is being reported that he signed a one-fight deal. One fight. I don't know that is 15 million. I know that is 10 plus for sure. 10 plus for one fight only. So again, you know, people had this idea that Zuffa was going to be underpaying fighters and giving guys a little bit of money. And they don't understand, if you're not a star in boxing, you're not getting money like that. You're not getting money like that. You know, there's a lot of fighters that we don't know them that are fighting for less than 10 grand a fight. So the idea that Zuffa Boxing was just going to be signing guys that will take a little bit of money, that's it. They blew that out of the water already. And not just with Conor Benn, with Jai Opataya, but now with Conor, that's also going to say to big-name fighters, we'll sign you to come over here and do one big fight. And we'll give you this much. And that's going to work for them. Because look, Conor Benn, a one-fight deal, you know His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh is not going to want to give him no little cherry pick that people's going to be like, oh my God, this what it's about? Y'all brought him here for this? They're going to want to make a big fight. And I'm almost sure it's going to end up being with Rollies. I'm almost sure it's going to end up being, because Conor Benn himself said that they was talking to Rollies. So it could be Rolando Romero to Zuffa Boxing. Potentially. But this fight right here, my peoples, Ryan Garcia is going to win it. Ryan Garcia is going to win this fight. And potentially take his little break and enter negotiations with Shakur Stevenson. He's already put it out there that he's willing to fight him at a catch weight, 144. And Shakur like, hell yeah, let's do it. That's a big fight. That's a big money fight for both of them. High profile. I'm with that. But, of course, right, you know, we can't look past tonight. Ryan Garcia got to win his fight tonight, right? Of course. But if Ryan wins this fight, I want you guys to think about this. Up until this point, he's never been a world champion. You know, he's been in big fights, but he hasn't won the big one yet. If Ryan Garcia beats Mario Barrios tonight, which I already told you he will. Richard Phoenix says Barrios beats Ryan. I already made my prediction, bro. Jay Stradamus, don't go against it. Ryan Garcia is going to win this fight. And he's going to become a champion for the first time in his career. Ryan Garcia's stock is already up because he's such a big star, right? You know that a fighter's a big star when they lose and it doesn't take away their star power. Ryan Garcia lost to Tank Davis, obviously. He got stopped in that one. And he got pretty much dominated by Rollies. In that fight with Rollies, he never looked like he could win it. Yet his star power is still the same. He's still just as big of a star. Hasn't been a world champion. If he wins this title, which he will, because I already told you, he's going to be an even bigger star than what he already is. Now a world champion. John Parent, Ryan in 10. Rich Phoenix, I will remind you again tomorrow when Barrios wins. I'll see you in tomorrow's episode of Boxing for Breakfast. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. John Parent, Barrios seemed nervous at the win. I'm telling you, that's it. I've seen enough. It took me long enough, but I've seen enough to say Ryan Garcia is going to win this fight. And is going to become a world champion. For the first time in his career. A lot of people doubted it. A lot of people feel like it's never going to happen. Like he can't beat any of the top dogs. He can't get to the top. You're going to see him wearing a belt. And they're going to give him that little WBC chain. That goofy ass shit. I'm with it, man. I'm with it. I respect it. I've been saying, by the way, I've been saying that Ryan is going to become a world champion. I had not made this prediction yet. But for years, I've said, yo, at some point, he's going to become a world champion. He's not going to, his whole career is not going to play out without him catching a title or two. And there you have it. We're going to see it tonight. King Ryan, my peoples, that's what you're going to see tonight. King Ryan. I hope Rich Phoenix don't disappear tomorrow like a lot of people do. A lot of people say, I'll see you tomorrow. The next day, they be ghost watching. They don't even say nothing like, oh man, I ain't trying to get cooked by Jake Smith. My peoples, these three fights are interesting. I expect Frank to go smart to get a stoppage, a brutal one. But Gary Antoine Russell has a very tough opponent in front of him, an undefeated Asian fighter with a high knockout percentage. Tough opponent. And then Richardson Hedges has Oscar Duarte, who's also a tough opponent. So we're looking at a great night of boxing. And by the way, let me show you this. Let me show you this. Bam! I don't know if you guys seen the first fight of Lee Wood versus Josh Warrington, but what a fight, man. They went to war with each other. And they're doing the rematch. The rematch is going to be tonight. I don't know if I'll be able to watch it live because it's going to be going simultaneous with the other card. But if I can, I'm going to tune in, man. If not, tomorrow I'll definitely watch this fight. If I can't watch this fight tonight, I'll watch it tomorrow and call it. I'll do the commentary on it and everything. Because I know these two going to war for sure. For sure, my people. You're going to see a showdown. MS. The stage is set for Ryan to win. Imagine how much money Ryan can make with the future fights defending that belt. Bro, Ryan Garcia is, like I say, he's already one of the biggest stars in boxing. Right now, Ryan Garcia is, without a doubt, one of the biggest stars in the game. A win like this, and now you're a world champion, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. His stocks are going to soar. Because his name is already so big. Now, putting that belt on is going to add a lot of weight. And he's shitting on everybody that says he's just a YouTuber and a social media guy. And there you have it. A lot of people don't... Look, I promise you, a lot of people don't want to see Ryan win this fight. Because they're like, damn, man, I've been saying he's never going to do it. He's really going to do it. Shit. Ryan Garcia making the haters mad. My people, so we talked about this yesterday. Conor Benn signed with Zuffa Boxing. The unexpected unexpected. And let me just say, man, damn, Conor Benn, I said it earlier, Conor Benn did Eddie Hearn dirty, yo. Golly. Did him the dirt. But ultimately, business is business. It's business. He was out of his contract, and he was free to go elsewhere. That's exactly what he chose to do. Apparently, they giving him, I don't know the exact amount, but it's a one-fight deal. They giving him over $10 million. So, somebody said, I seen somebody in the comments say 15 million, but I just saw it was an 8-figure deal. So, it's 10 plus. Let's see who Conor Benn is going to fight on Zuffa Boxing. He did say that he was going to fight in an interview, that he was going to fight Rollies and then fight Ryan next. So it looks like he's... No, actually, he revealed that he was in talk with Rollies' team to make that fight. Is Rolly going to Zuffa Boxing? Greg Hackett in the building. Salute, family. Bam. Yo, Greg, what you think about Conor Benn going to Zuffa Boxing, man? Zuffa Boxing. They doing it big in 2026. This is something that I think because Conor Benn got that relationship with Eddie Hearn, I guess I automatically assumed that he was going to stay over there, but it is what it is. Greg Hackett, nice little hiding spot. You know, I seen Conor Benn say that they was talking to Rollies to try to fight him. So are we going to see Conor Benn versus Rollies on Zuffa Boxing? Is Rollies going to Zuffa Boxing? Is he going to be another fighter going on there? By the way, Greg, Ryan Garcia is going to win tonight. I said it. I stand on it. Ryan Garcia is going to become a world champion, my brother. Ramirez. Nah, not my ninja Greg Hackett. And J. Smith comments. Salute, Greg. Yo, Greg is my G, brother. Greg is family. The assassin, J. Smith. Salute, family. Listen, my people. I'm going to tell you right now. Frank Martin, I already told you he was going to win that fight. He got this. Oh, you like Barrios, Greg, to win tonight? Nah, Greg, I'm telling you, it ain't going down like that. It ain't going like. I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to be wrong, bro. I'm not. Ryan Garcia is gonna become a world champion for the first time in his career. That's gonna happen. And by the way, remember that he said that he's willing to fight Shakur at a catch weight, 144, if I'm not mistaken, and Shakur's with it. What if we get Ryan Garcia versus Shakur Stevenson this year? The timing is perfect, by the way, because Shakur just fought recently. Ryan is about to fight now. If Barrio beat him, you got it. But nah, man, Ryan Garcia is going to do this. I'm trying to tell you, my G. But Conor Benn going to Zuffa Boxing, I think is the unexpected. I really think it's the unexpected. Ramirez. Hey, Greg, look at the win. Mario looked frail. You see, the win was the last thing that I needed. I thought he looked strong, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Ryan Garcia gave me the vibes like he going to put the beats on him. We're going to see the best version of Ryan Garcia that we've seen. Because let me just say something. When he fought Devin, throughout the whole training camp, Ryan Garcia was a goofball. He was on some goofballery shit. So we can't go by, oh, well, you know, he's doing a lot of podcasts. He don't look like he's locked in. Nah, you never know with Ryan Garcia. He could be acting a fool out there and still show up and inflict damage. That left hook, bing! Barrio's going to eat that. Barrio's going to eat that left hook. And he's going to be counter-punched. And I'm going to tell you what, a fight is going to break out early. Mario Barrios is going to try to apply that pressure, and Ryan's not having it. Going to be like, oh, you think you're going to apply pressure to me? Bing! Hold that left hook. Right to the kisser. Ramirez, Shakur to Zuffa next. The move, J. Smith. We all missing. It could happen. It can happen. Look, Keyshawn Davis recently said, I don't care about no sanctioning fees. I ain't trying to pay no sanctioning fees. Anybody who says I don't give a damn about sanctioning fees or they don't care about the belts, they will probably be open to going to Zuffa Boxing. We're going to see more stars, more big names. By the end of 2026, Zuffa Boxing is going to be having stars fighting other stars, like those type of big fights, because they're going to have enough already. Look, think about it. They're only on Zuffa 3. They're only on the third one. And they've already signed Opetaya, Conor Benn, De Los Santos is over. They're going to be debuting soon. Rayo Valenzuela. They're going to be signing names that we're familiar with, and then they're going to be signing stars. They're going to be signing more stars. Watch. Ramirez. Bro, Ryan looking shape. He looked like he's in great shape. And look, Ryan weighed 146.5. Below the limit, right below the limit. MS, unfortunately, Barrios does not have the agility to evade that left hook. He's going to land again and again. I think that the speed difference, the speed advantage that Ryan Garcia has over Mario Barrios is going to show. Ronaldo, you're right. Even if they do one-fight deals, it's smart. Conor Benn, one fight over $10 million. So the notion that Zuffa Boxing was going to be underpaying fighters, erroneous. If you're not a big star, if you're not a big name, you're not going to make a lot of money, but you don't make a lot of money in boxing. There's people fighting for 10 G's. There's people fighting for less than that right now. So if you go to Zuffa Boxing and you don't got a name, you're not famous, of course you're not going to get paid no $5 million. But if you're fighting anywhere else, you're not making that type of money either. But Zuffa's already showing us, if you're a big star, we're going to give you the money. Come on down. People already starting to say F the WBC and F this belt and I ain't trying to pay no sanctioning fees. Come on down, buddy. We got you over here. John Pound, Dana know what he doing. Salvador, this is a different Ryan. Yo, Dana White, man, he doing it. He doing the damn thing. Salvador, Ryan lost against Rolly. Diabolical. I hope they retire this bum. Oye, esa vaina. Ryan Garcia is a fighter who everybody knows can fight. If you call him a bum, I don't know what to tell you. You might as well just say, I don't like Ryan, and that's enough. Because I pretty much know everything you're going to say about Ryan Garcia from this point forward. You're calling the guy a bum. It's going to be a great fight. I have a feeling Salvador Mosqueda, after Ryan Garcia beat the crap out of him, tomorrow you're not going to show up to tomorrow's episode of Boxing for Breakfast. You're going to show up and be quiet and shit. Ghost watching and shit. Not even hit the like button and shit. Yeah, I know you. I know how you get down. Salvador, fam, Ryan is one delusional fighter. Okay, we'll see. Let's see if you show up tomorrow. That's all I gotta say. And my peoples, let me just say, Eddie Hearn, his feelings is hurt, y'all. The way that Conor Benn left, Eddie Hearn he's hurt. He feel like, damn, this guy, I thought he was gonna be loyal to the team. He could have got him to re-sign a contract. And he did. He didn't do it. Ramirez, Jay, what's up, bro? I've been wanting to talk to you, gang, on live. Let's do it. Let's set it up. So, Eddie Hearn was talking about it. He said that, he thought Conor Benn would re-sign with them. Okay, I will. Wait for me over there. He said that he expected Conor Benn to just re-sign with him. He never, try to make it happen ahead of time or anything like that. And he got caught by surprise. Conor Benn went over there, was like, yo, yeah, what's up? Y'all got that type of money for me? Let's get it. Bang, sign with them. Eddie Hearn found out probably on social media just like us. Looked at that post like, God damn. He did it to us like this? Salvador, fam, I always hit the like. And I never hated on you. Salute, family. Bam. No, but are you going to hit the like tomorrow if Ryan Garcia whooped that ass? Be honest. I'm not talking about on the average morning show. I'm talking about tomorrow. When you got to show up and say, yeah, Jay, you got it. Damn. Ramirez, because he got nobody to feed Boots or even to Virgil. If it was so many fights. I mean, but it looks like Conor Benn might be fighting Rollies for that one fight on Zuffa Boxing. 15 mil, God, like, that's a nice chunk of money right there for one fight. John Parham, another good sign. Who corner was Benavidez in? Whoa. John Parham, Ryan been working with Benavidez' team. Salvador, you were right about Canelo versus Crawford. Ain't no hate in my heart. Always regardless, the like button is mandatory. Ooh, you see what I'm saying? Bam, appreciate you, family. But tomorrow, I want to see you. Don't be copping no please. I need to see you tomorrow morning. John Parham, Salvador, respect. Bam, aroma sound in the building. Bam. My peoples, what do you guys think about this? Floyd Schofield Sr. says that Schofield will knock Shakur out. Do he really believe that? Do he really believe that his son will knock Shakur out? Or that's just cap? Y'all tell me, do he really believe that? Ronaldo, a lot of people would rather do one fight deal. No need to pay the promoters. Smart. I mean, a one fight deal is a plus. A one fight deal is always a great option. But it's also a calculated risk. You know why? Because if you got a 3-fight deal and you lose that second fight, you still guarantee that third. So you guarantee yourself 3 paydays. In a 1-fight deal, if you get knocked out and made to look bad, your ass is cooked. We don't want to re-sign your bum ass. So 1-fight deal is good because you're going to make a lot of money, but you better look good. You get your ass kicked and that's going to be your only deal. Salvador, Shakur schools anybody. Daniel Negron, it's a good match. John Parham, Shakur, 10-2 against Kid. Yes, I see a dominant performance like that. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if it's a complete shutout. 12-0. Like, it could really be that. Aroma Sound, the Schofields are always talking, but the only guy I ever heard that he fought was Tevin Farmer. Ronaldo, you're right. That's right. Listen. Floyd Schofield, I know that he's about that smoke. I know that he's not scared of nobody or anything like that. But his pops be talking checks, writing checks that he can't cash. You know why I say that? You got to remember, it was a while back, but let's not forget that at one point, Shakur and Floyd had a fight date and everything. They were supposed to fight. And during the entire training camp, Shakur kept repeating, don't pull out. Don't pull out. Yeah, you're going to see me now. Sign the contract. Just don't pull out. How many times Shakur said that throughout training camp? And what did they do? Well, I guess Floyd got sick, supposedly, and he pulled out. Shakur was telling him, don't pull out. Pulled out. Now, him being sick and everything, right? Why after he got better, they didn't try to pursue that fight again? Why they didn't say, okay, we good now, we ready, let's fight? So they'll say everything but let's fight. They know by not fighting Shakur, they got out from under the bus. Like, this fight is signed, sealed, and delivered. They got out from under the bus. by missing that fight. Rage Bait. Footballer Sergio Ramos might box Andrew Tate in August. Opinion? Nah, they not boxers. They have a good time and make some money. That's about it. Salvador, fam, do you feel Crawford should give Canelo a rematch? Honestly, I don't. And I tell you that I don't because Terence Crawford already made his decision, and I respect it. I respect his decision. The guy decided, you know what? I'm at the highest mountain right now. I'm #1 pound for pound fighter in the world, fighter of the year, got the biggest win, one of the biggest wins in boxing history, beat the odds, got a crazy payday. I won out. I'm good. He 38 years old. Nah, you at a good age to retire. You at a perfect age to retire. So the only reason why we would say he should give him the rematch is because we want more fights, right? We want to see him in action. We want to see him and Canelo in the ring again. But his decision cannot be made off of what the fans want or off of what Canelo wants. Because let me tell you something. Some people like to frame it like Canelo gave him a chance and Sulaiman gave him a chance. They didn't give him no chance. They thought they was going to whoop his ass. They thought Canelo was going to knock him out. So that wasn't no chance. If Canelo really want to give a chance, give Benavidez a chance. That's giving him a chance. But with Crawford, they thought they was going to knock him out. That wasn't no chance. He just got his ass beat. Now, if you tell me that it's a fight where people say, yo, Canelo won, Canelo got robbed, then I would be telling you, yeah, man, you should give him a rematch. Because he got gifted that. He got gifted that, so he should give him a rematch. But we know he beat him, beat his ass. Made him look like a Wendy's third shift supervisor. So, no, you don't got to give him the rematch. I respect your decision. You're like, yo, I want to retire. I'm good. I've done a lot. I went all the way to the top. I'm ready. That's it. So I respect that. The Assassin. I like the Schofields. Despite all the BS they talk, they came from nothing. They got Dominican heritage. I support them. No, look, I like Floyd Schofield. I think his pops does a little bit too much, talks a little bit too much. I remember one time he was talking about goons and getting the goons and all of that. So I think Pop Deuce does a little bit too much. But they're a good team. They got this far so far, so they're doing good in boxing. They've made some good decisions. Aroma Sound. Then he had the mosquito bites on his hand for the next fight he pulled out of. I mean, I don't know, man. Floyd had to pull out some fights, but it's part of boxing. I just don't think that they want to fight Shakur Stevenson. You see, that's where I say Pop Dukes talk a little bit too much. Like, why you bringing up Shakur's name when you know you don't want to make that fight? Stop playing, bro. Aroma Sound. They said Shakur stole his passport and called the police on him. I'm trying to tell you, they say anything. Floyd Pop's doing way too much. Way too much. Like, man, and let me tell you something. At this point, Floyd Schofield beat Farmer, in destructive fashion. So we got to see him step up already. It's going to get to that point where it's no more he's a good fighter. It's going to be about, yo, when are you going to fight for a title? When are you going to challenge one of the guys at the top? It's going to be at that point already. You've shown that you could beat this type of fighter in Tevin Farmer. When are you going to fight for a title? So the pressure's going to be on them. The pressure's going to be on them to step up to the plate. Remember, I told you that. Salvador, Crawford versus Boots would be fire. That'll never happen. That ship sailed years ago, bro. I don't even mention those two names in the same sentence. I don't even mention them in the, that's like saying, yo, it would have been fire if Floyd would have been in his prime and he could have fought Bud. But it's not. We know that's not gonna happen. This is the same deal. Like, that ship sailed years ago. John Pound busts, smokes Boots. Of course he does. That's why they didn't take that fight. He would have whooped his ass. And the stocks would have went down. Salvador, fast. Canelo ducked Benavidez. Salute, family. I gotta shake the spot. You already know, fam. Bam. John Parham. Kid will be furthering his career under a new manager and trainer. I have to agree. I have to agree with you on that. His potential is definitely there. J Jack, Ryan for the win. I got Ryan Garcia winning this fight, my G. That's how I see it playing out. Ryan Garcia is going to put the Swiss, the Dre, and the Applebee's on a very good fighter, Mario Barrios. But this is it right here. They setting the stage for Ryan Garcia to become a lot more popular than what he already is. Because Ryan is one of those guys who already has a big name in boxing. And I'm going to tell you something. That's part of the reason why a lot of people don't like Ryan Garcia. Because they're like, damn, this guy hasn't accomplished anything. He ain't accomplished nothing. And we still got to see him be this big star. Well, guess what? He's going to accomplish. There's so many fans who just don't even want to see him hold the title, y'all. Don't want Ryan Garcia to have a belt. JP Hall, do you think Conor Benn will look foolish leaving his protective promotion Matchroom? His protective promotion? I don't think so. I mean, his last two fights was versus Chris Eubank Jr., so I don't think there was no protecting in that. You know, he lost his first fight in his career. So I don't think there was no protection going on there. And it looks like he's going to go to Zuffa Boxing. It's a one-fight deal. It looks like he's going to fight Rollies. And they could have made that fight with Matchroom. Maybe they're paying him more money than what he would have got for fighting Rollies on Matchroom. So he decided to go that route. But I don't think that's a fight that they was going to duck over in Matchroom. That's a good matchup. That's a good fight. That's a good fight. Daniel Brown, no way, Jay. I thought you would pick Barrios for sure, for some reason. Ryan Garcia got this, bro. Ryan Garcia. Honestly, I was a little bit leaning towards Barrios, but nah. One of the things that made me lean towards Barrios early on is that, you know, I'm seeing Ryan Garcia in all these podcasts and all these lives, and it's like, damn, bro, you're supposed to be in training camp. You out here having fun and shit. But then I said to myself, you know what, man, I've seen Ryan Garcia looking like he just goofing around and then show up on fight night ready to take somebody's head off. So I'm not going to let that cloud my decision. There's some other factors that I considered. The speed factor is also something that I took into consideration. Ryan is the faster guy. He got the faster jab out of the two. He got the faster hands, period. Danny on the ground. I want Ryan to win too, but Barrios, I don't know. I mean, Barrios is a world champion. He's a world champion. That's part of why this prediction was so hard to make. You're talking about Ryan Garcia, a very skilled fighter and a world champion. Another thing to consider, Ryan has had two opportunities to win a belt. Had it versus Tank Davis, had it versus Rollies. Lost in both cases. Now it's his third shot at a title. Third shot in the big stage. I believe that he's going to pull it off. I really believe it. We're going to see King Ryan take the throne for the first time in his career. And I'm going to be calling it live. You're going to be hearing it. The left to the mouthpiece. The right to the wig piece. Oh, the left to the toupee. It's going down, y'all. It's going down. And it's going to... Look, I'm looking forward to the whole card because there's no such thing as a boring Frank Martin fight. Frank that goes, you know, he out there to let the hands go. He let him go with bad intentions, and I'm expecting him to knock his opponent out. His opponent going to sleep. Gary Antoine Russell, you guys know what he about. Likes to apply pressure. Likes to let the hands fly. Devastating puncher. And then he got his opponent is an undefeated fighter with a high knockout percentage. Asian. Come on now. That looks like it's going to be a heck of a fight filled with fireworks. Richardson Hitchens got Oscar Duarte. Duarte let the hands fly. He like to apply pressure. He got heavy hands too. So there's people saying that Duarte is going to upset Hitchens. I had a few people tell me that, yo, I think Duarte is going to pull off the upset. So I have all three of these fighters winning tonight. I got all three of them winning tonight. But I'm telling you, Hitchens and Russell and Gary Antoine Russell, they both got real tough opponents in front of them. You know, they're going to have to earn those wins. I think Frank the Ghost Martin is going to stop Buddy that he's fighting brutally. By the way, y'all remember the last time Frank Martin was in the ring? Got the brutal stoppage too. So I think he's going to be going for that. Yo, son, that I got to point out, man. I got to point out. Remember I've been telling you about this fight, Benavidez and Zurdo? So the fight just got officially announced. I didn't even know that. You guys may recall that I was telling you, yo, this is happening and Benavidez is going to beat him and blah, blah, blah. I announced the fight before they did. I didn't even know that the fight had not been officially announced. So there you have it, I guess. We've been making predictions about this fight, talking about it like it was a done deal, but now it's a done deal. So let me reiterate for you. David Benavidez is going to put the beats on Zurdo. No getting around that. I got a lot of respect for Zurdo. He can fight. He a world champion. 30 knockouts and 48 wins. Only one loss. Okay, he for real. But the difference in speed is going to be a factor. Benavidez is a lot faster. He's a volume puncher, and that's going to reflect. That is going to, we're going to see David Benavidez put all type of hands on Zurdo. Maybe early on, Zurdo's going to make it interesting, but nah, man, I'm sorry, my peoples. Anybody, if any of you thought that Zurdo's going to win this fight, if any of you thought that Zurdo got a chance to beat the Mexican Monster, I'm going to be the one to tell you on that night, you're going to get your heart broken. Your heart is going to, and if you put money on Zurdo, your heart is going to shatter into little pieces because the Mexican Monster is going to put the beats on him. Now, is David Benavidez going to stay in the division? Because if I'm not mistaken, he's already said that he's going to move back down to challenge Bivol and Beterbiev. So I know we want him to fight Jairo Pataya. I want that fight too. But I got no problem with him challenging Bivol and Beterbiev. Back to back. That's what he says he's going to do. He says he's going to do that. MAW, salute family. Bam. JJ said that I said in the building. Bam. My peoples. Lots of action tonight. Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios. They going to mix it up. I'm expecting a heck of a fight. But I already gave you my predictions. In case you didn't know, Ryan Garcia is going to win this fight. And he's going to become a world champion for the first time in his career. 3-time is the charm. The 3rd time is the charm. So yes, Ryan lost versus Tank Davis, lost versus Rollies. This time around, he walks out of there with the belt. Becomes a world champion. And I'm even going as far as saying he might enter negotiations with Shakur Stevenson to fight at a catch weight 144. And that would be a monster fight for the summertime. Big, big fight. Shakur Stevenson versus Ryan Garcia. Ooh, what a fight. What a showdown. But the first thing that has to happen for that showdown to take place is Ryan Garcia walks out of there with the W tonight. And it's going to be another prediction for Jay Smith. And, of course, we got the undercard, man. These are some good fights. We're going to get Frank the Ghost Martin, who I said is going to win by knockout. Gary Antoine Russell, a tough, undefeated opponent. He's going to have a tough fight, a tough fighter to deal with. And, of course, Richardson Hitchens got to deal with Oscar Duarte, a hard puncher, a volume puncher, a pressure fighter. Richardson Hitchens is going to have to earn that dub. Wilby, weak-ass Canelo needs to give him a shot at 175. The Mexican Monster deserved that fight. He's not going to get it, bro. You can forget about that. Canelo already took enough ass whoopings. He don't want to now get stopped, too, on his way out. I don't see it. I don't see it. Canelo's like, nah. I'm not trying to get knocked out. John Parham, Shakur 8-4. If it happens, unless Ryan catch him with a body shot. Ooh, with a nasty one to the body. MAW, salute, brothers. Bam. Wilby, I hope lying-ass Ryan loses. Listen, man, I'm going to be honest with you. Ryan is going to win that fight. He's going to crush your hope. There is no hope. I got to tell you. The real King George. It's all about who wants it more, has pride on the line. I'm telling you, Ryan Garcia is going to win this fight tonight. He's going to win this fight. But this card is going to be lit, y'all. Look at those 4 fights. Frank the Ghost Martin, Gary Antoine Russell, Richardson Hitchens, and then, of course, the main event, Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios. This is going to be action-packed. We're going to get some serious fireworks, some real good fights. And by the way, if I may not be able to call this fight because it's happening simultaneously with this card, but this is going down tonight. Lee Wood versus Josh Harrington, the rematch. They're going to trade some nasty leather. I don't know if you saw the first fight, but bombs away. It was that type of showdown. Jay Smith said it. Time to put money down. There you have it. JP, Ryan Garcia don't beat Shakur. I don't see that. I don't see that happening. I see Shakur winning that fight. Well, in reality, nobody beats Shakur. Let's be real. It's not Ryan Garcia. Nobody beats Shakur. But the stocks is up. Shakur Stevenson star power went like this. Where he put the beast on Teofimo Lopez. Now a lot of people want that payday. They want payday. They willing to fight Shakur now. We're going to see him making some of those fights. John Parham, his looks horribly weight drained. Ooh, see, that could be a factor. That could be a factor tonight. Wilby, what time the first card's starting? I'm not sure this card, I don't know. I'm going to have to look it up because the other one starts like at 9 p.m. Eastern time. But this one right here, since it's in the UK, it might start earlier. So I'm going to check it out. I'm going to see if it starts earlier, I'll be calling this fight. Daniel Negron, Duarte said he knocking out Hitchens in the first round. Not happening. Yeah. I don't think he believed that that's even possible. MS, UK boys face lit. John Parham, that's facts. Yo, the UK, they be putting it down. They be putting it down. I think that they just have to do a better job of promoting them in the U.S. That's what I think that they got to do. Push them a little bit more. Because if you think about it, Josh Warrington and Lee Wood, they both been world champions, world championship caliber fighters. Yet they don't really even have a fan base like that in the U.S. unless it's folks from the U.K. So I think they got to push them a little bit more stateside. John Parham, Daniel, I got him winning, but by decision. The real King George. John, where's your boy Hydro? The Hydro grind. I think he predicted Ryan Garcia is gonna win this fight. Yo, let me give y'all. You guys probably aware of this. I hadn't spoke about it. We hadn't spoke about it. But, yep, the suspension came down, my peoples. Suspended for 1 year for popping dirty. Janibek. MS, we don't see this kind of energy at face-off here in the U.S. Hey, it's Chase. Rhino Barrios. That's it. My prediction is in. Ryan Garcia is going to beat Mario Barrios. Ryan Garcia is going to become a world champion for the first time. A year suspension, my peoples. What do you think? Somebody popped dirty? I'm going to be honest with you. Popping dirty, I don't think it should be a year suspension. I think it should be longer. You know why? Sometimes fighters be inactive for a year on their own without even being suspended. That's not a long time. It's not really a long time. To me, if you pop dirty, your first suspension for popping dirty need to be like 5 years. You're going to lose a nice chunk of your career if you pop dirty. So you're going to respect that more, because if you 30 and you pop dirty, you coming back at 35. You're almost done. If you're 28 years from your prime, done, cooked. That's how they got to do it. First suspension, 5 years. Second, you done. You out of boxing. We don't need your cheating ass over here. But a 1 year suspension, bro, how many fights? De Los Santos been inactive for more than a year. He ain't suspended. Arrow been inactive for more than a year. He ain't suspended. But like, fighters will be inactive for a year. That's nothing. They could take that year to train and come back right after the year's up. That's nothing. A year suspension, that's nothing. Will be. Is Gary Antoine Russell still fighting tonight? Yes, sir. And he's fighting a real tough opponent, man. Japanese guy with an undefeated record. And I always say this. When I see a Japanese fighter with an undefeated record, a high knockout percentage, I always say, yo, that's going to be a dangerous fighter, because experience has shown me. Japanese fighters, they come up facing tough opponents. Even when they fighting in Japan and they fighting people that you never heard of, but they match them up with real tough opponents. So when they finally, fight somebody and you get to see them for the first time, they show out. It's common to see that happen. It's this dude right here. Andy Hiraoki. Bro, I haven't seen him fight, I'm telling you. And I know that guy can fight. I just got that feeling like he's going to give Gary Antoine Russell a tough fight. Dylan Sanders, you think Rolly will beat Ben? I got Conor Benn winning that fight. Good fight, good competitive fight. But I see Conor Benn walking out of there with the dub. So look, this is Gary Antoine Russell's opponent, my people. 24 wins, 19 knockouts, 0 losses. I'm telling you, man, these Japanese fighters, when they show up with records like that, they don't disappoint. They don't disappoint. So I'm expecting a real good fight. Dylan Sanders. I'm 60-40 Rollies. I mean, Rolly's a guy who's been a world champion, who is a world champion. So I respect that. Los Angeles. What's up with that weak-ass main event, Jay Smith? I'm not sure which. You mean in the UK or in the US? You don't think Ryan Garcia versus Barrios is a weak main event, bro? Come on. Come on. That's a weak main event? Us or the US? I mean, I don't think that's a weak main event at all, bro. You got a world champion in Mario Barrios and a fighter who's fought at a high level in Ryan Garcia, who's a big star. I don't know what makes it weak for you. Is it that you don't like neither one of these guys? Is that you don't like Ryan Garcia? Because that'll be enough for you to consider it weak. But you know what's going to tell you that it's not a weak main event? The viewership. We can't use viewership for one fighter and then ignore it for another. the viewership is going to tell us that it's not a weak main event. Maybe you don't like one of the guys or you don't like both of them. It's a great main event. Dylan Sanders. Where they are from. Who is from. The real King George. The Ryan haters everywhere. I mean, a lot of people don't like Ryan Garcia. What can I tell you? A lot of people don't like Ryan. MS. Ryan versus Barrios is a B-level fight, a B-level fighter versus a C-level fighter. Not only, I promise you, MS, only people who never box will say that. People who never box, they start being and seeing level guys. Los Angeles. I mean, I can tell their styles are so different. Look, I'm going to say this. Neither one of these guys is expected to try to fight, you know, using their footwork, moving around. This can turn into a real slugfest. Nice and early, too. Nice and early. Because Barrios likes to apply pressure, likes to go forward. Ryan Garcia loves to counterpunch. He loves that check left hook. Bam. So we're going to see both of them imposing their style. Neither one of them likes to run, likes to move around too much. They're going to be in front of each other. They both get hit. They both get hit. Neither one of them is a defensive guru. We're going to get some serious action tonight. Los Angeles, I mean, I cannot tell who will win. They have different styles. I promise you, we're going to see fireworks. In this fight, I don't know if it's going to go the distance, but we're going to see fireworks. We're going to see them pulling out the heavy artillery early. Dylan Sanders. American fighters fight higher competition. A fighter having an O on the L column depends on where you're from, how I rate it. I wouldn't say American fighters fight higher competition because in all countries, you'll see guys fighting somebody who's not much competition at all. Like, I'll give you an example. Even Frank Martin. Look at the guy. Let me see. I think I may have him here. Look at the guy that Frank Martin is fighting. Frank Martin's going to beat that. Look, this who Frank Martin is fighting. This dude right here. I don't got the whole image. But the guy Frank Martin is fighting has a record of 17-2. This dude right here has a record of 17-2. And his knockout, he got like 6 knockouts, bro. He got like 6 knockouts, 7 knockouts. 17 wins, 7 knockouts, 2 losses. Frank Martin is going to blow this guy out of the water, bro. I'm expecting Frank Martin to knock him out brutally. Brutally. So everywhere you go, you're going to see some fighters get some easy wins, especially when they building up their record, and sometimes some easy wins down the line. Frank Martin got a nice little cherry pick right here. He going to beat that guy up. Now, Gary Antoine Russell, that's a tough opponent. A record of 24 wins, 0 losses, 19 knockouts. And this guy Japanese, oh, you got a tough one in front of you. These guys are tough every time out. Dylan Sanders, what country has the most world champions? And do they travel to defend? American is superior, in my opinion. You see, you have to take into consideration the weight classes. Like, I'll give you an example. And you're right, there's a lot of American great fighters. But I'll give you an example. When was the last time that an American ran the heavyweight division? That an American ran the cruiserweight division? When is the last time that an American ran 175? Basically, my brother, above 168, it's been Europe. All them divisions above 168, it's been Europe holding it down for years. And then if you look at below 125, it's Asians and Mexicans. Have you seen a single American that even stand a chance versus the monster Naoya Inoue. But that's because they the ones running those divisions. There's no American that you could say, look what he did to Stephen Fulton. Beat the shit out of him. So Americans are within 126. And look, I'm going to say up to 154, but at 154, who are the champions? Well, Sebastian Fundora is American. He's American. But Xander Say's Puerto Rican, so we can say he's American. See, so we have to look at what divisions we're talking about. But, because look, boxing at this point is a worldwide sport. Look, to make an example, what happened with boxing is the same thing that happened with basketball. Remember, the Dream Team used to go everywhere and beat teams by 40 points, 50 points, 60 points. Just blow everybody out of the water. But eventually, American coaches started going to other countries to coach people over there, right? And American players started going back to their countries and bringing drills from the U.S. And eventually, what happened? We've seen the Dream Team get their ass whooped. We've seen the Dream Team not get the gold medal. We see the Dream Team regularly, like the USA team, winning by 5, winning by 3, winning with a buzzer beater. No more beating people by 60 and 50. Those days are gone. That's it. Why? Because the world has gotten better. So boxing, the same thing. You see the best Cuban coaches going all over the world and being coaches for fighters from all over the world. You see U.S. trainers. You see. So if you look at the top 10, look who's number 1 and number 2. Usyk and Inoue. Neither one of them is American. The best 2 fighters in the world is an Asian and a European. 2 people from 2 different continents. Number 1 and number 2. But now you got Shakur Stevenson at the number 3 slot. But the pound for pound list show you boxing is a worldwide sport. That's it. You can say, oh, it's only this place that's running it. But if we talk about the different divisions, I can show you where now. Hold on. Hold your horses. The world is competing in boxing. Dylan Sanders. But it's been low weight classes and heavyweight in the sweet spot for elite boxers. Of course, worldwide. The real King George. We got LeBron James. That's why. Jay isn't that. Jay Smith put money down on Garcia. And the goals to win. Get that money. That in the ground. U.S. got beat by PR. Nah, listen. There's a lot of great fighters all over the world right now. John Parham, hell, Luka, Giannis, Wemby, Jokic, SGA leading the NBA, and they're not American. You see? That would never have been the case, but today, even the best NBA players ain't American, a lot of them. Dylan Sanders, pound for pound, America's the best, my opinion. Boxing is a worldwide, though. Corey is better than they know it. Haven't been, come on, bro. You can't prove, like, to say that Corey is better than they know it, they're not in the same weight class, and they'll never be. They'll never fight each other. So, come on now. Inoue is more accomplished than Shakur Stevenson. And I guarantee you, Shakur Stevenson is going to eventually get there, get to that number 1 spot. But today, now, yeah, Inoue has the better resume, the more accomplished resume. You know, we're talking about skills. It's not about skills because now we're getting into the territory of opinion. I'm not saying I disagree with you, by the way. But when you compare a guy from 2 guys that are in way different weight classes to each other, it's all going to boil down to opinion. Like, I'll give you an example. If we argue about who has the better offensive firepower between Inoue and Shakur, then what? Then what? Are you going to say Shakur got the better offensive? And I'm not talking about power, Dylan Sanders. I'm not talking about powers. Remove power from the equation. Does Shakur got a better offensive firepower than Naoya Inoue? Would you honestly say that? So when you talk about skills, There you go. You say the highest defense. But who has the better offense? The real King George. LeBron James, just leadership of flopping in the NBA. Yeah, the flopping is epic for LeBron. Okay, Biz, who you got, Barrios or Garcia? I got Ryan Garcia winning tonight, becoming the champion for the first time. Dylan said the defense is more important than offense. Core is better there. Ah, well, you see, you ducked the question. You ducked the question, family. You already said about the defense, and I didn't disagree with you. I've said that Shakur is the best defensive fighter in boxing. But I asked you about offensive, who got the better offense, and you didn't even answer it. You just repeat the same thing that you already said. You already told me about the defense. I'm asking you about the offense. See? The fact that you didn't want to answer that, it answers it. It says it. You know the answer to that question. Now, it's a fight that will never happen. So there's no point in even going back and forth about their skill set. Right now, Naoya Inoue is the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. There's a reason for that. He earned that spot. Nobody's going to sit out here and say, oh, they just put him up there. They gave it to him. The monster's there for a reason. My peoples, what do you think about Conor Benn going to Zuffa Boxing, man? How is this thing going to play out? How will Conor Benn play out on Zuffa Boxing? He's going to make a lot of money. My guess is that he's going to fight Rolly's Romero. That's my guess because he said that he was talking, they was negotiating to make that fight happen. I didn't see you. When you answer the question, you just said that defense is more important. But I asked you who has the better offense. You never answered as far as who has the better offense specifically. You said Shakur got the better defense, and then you said that defense is better. You repeated the same thing. We know that Shakur got the better defense. That's not even up for dispute. Who has the better offense? Okay, so what's your answer to that question? Dallas Sanders, who you think has the better offense between Shakur Stevenson and Naoya Inoue? On Lace, I hope Barrios having the flu don't cause him to fight. I got Ryan Garcia winning it, and to be honest, I took that into consideration. That flu part, I took it into consideration. Dylan, Inoue has better offense, but that's not core game. Okay then, but that's my point, that when you say this fighter is more skilled, you're only wanting to focus on what they're better at. You're ignoring what the other fighter is better at. So you see, that's what makes it an opinion. You're putting more weight on this side than on the other side. If we talk about offensive, then I could tell you that Inoue is more skilled than Shakur. He is more skilled letting the hands go. See, and it will be real hard for you to argue that. So you have to sit on the defense and judge their overall skills based on Shakur's defense. The real King George, the best to watch are heavy hitters in boxing. They go harder. I mean, I could ask who's more entertaining to watch, but Shakur's my favorite fighter. I don't even go that route. JJ's in the house. Boxing for breakfast. French toast coffee. Ooh, priceless in the morning. Enjoy it, my brother. You having your toast. You having your coffee. You enjoying boxing for breakfast. It's a beautiful morning. It's beautiful. Dylan Sanders. Most boxers will tell you defense is more important. I never said defense or offense was more important. I don't know why you keep pointing that out. You keep repeating the same thing over and over, Dylan Dennis. Nobody said that defense was more important or less important. You're arguing that point by yourself. You're literally arguing that point by yourself. Nobody said that point was less or more important. So if you want me to repeat it with you, defense is more important. There you have it, Dylan Dennis. I'm repeating it with you. Defense is more important. There you have it. I don't know why you keep saying that. John Parham. So better defense versus better offense makes it a even battlefield. That's a fact. You see? A great defensive fighter can be beat by a great offensive fighter. Gay Rivera, Hitchens versus Duarte. Who you got, Jay Smith? I got Hitchens winning that fight. I expect it to be a tough one. I expect it to be a real good fight. Duarte is a guy who got power, who likes to apply pressure. So, yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. But Hitchens is going to pull it off. You know, he's the more skilled fighter of the two. He's a very accurate puncher, a very good counter puncher, because Duarte is going to apply pressure. But when you have a real good counter puncher, catching with those shots trying to go in, that's going to affect the way Duarte operates. Smooth Will. If Shakur really got more offense, his defense would suffer a bit. This is boxing knowledge. Dylan Sanders, I'm stating my case. Why you think Curry is superior? That's why I keep saying that. Okay, you got it, fam. You know it's good. I just give Corey the edge when I compare. I mean, but they'll never fight each other. So it's going to be... It's like an incoherent debate to even have. We're really debating about two guys that will never face each other. Like, it's pointless. On Lace, do you have Russell winning? Yes, I have. And I'm going to tell you like this. I expect it to be a competitive fight. Gary Antoine Russell got a tough opponent in front of him. You know, it's like I told you, man. It seems like every time I see a Japanese fighter who's undefeated and got a high knockout percentage, they're always the goods. They're always real. When they get up in there, they always impress. And I expect no less from his opponent. It's going to be a real good fight. K-Biz, you got your money on Garcia. Garcia's going to win this fight. Ryan Garcia is going to beat Mario Barrios, become a champion for the first time. Imagine if Ryan Garcia is that big of a superstar right now and he's never held a title. Imagine what it's going to do to him or for him, for his star power when he becomes a world champion. Dallas Sanders, bet on Barrios, better odds. It's 50-50 though. Frank Rice, amateur boxing. Salute, family. John Parham. Eno has dominated all of his fights with high KO percentage. So it's hard to say. Again, two different classes. But that's what I'm saying. Like, how do we really compare it? You know, it becomes a matter of opinion. You don't really have anything to compare it to, because if we compare the way they dispose of their opponents, we will put Inoue above. Shakur got the better defense, but Shakur hasn't dominated every opponent the way Naoya Inoue has. Who's been more dominant? You see, so we could compare different things. You could be comparing the defense, and I'm comparing who dominated their opponents, who had their opponents surviving, who had their opponents just trying to make it through. Naoya Inoue. He's the #1 guy in the world for a reason. Rob James, Josh Warrington versus Lee Wood tonight. Good British clash. That's a rematch. That's a rematch, my boy. And the first fight, they went to war with it. If it's early enough to where I could watch that fight and then watch this card, I'm calling that fight. After we get off this live, I'm going to look for the time and everything and see if I could watch that too. Because the first fight, they went to war. And they're going to do it again tonight. Josh Warrington and Lee Wood, they're going to go to war tonight. Watch. Infosphere. Good morning, boss. You going live for Ryan Barrios fight? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm going to be calling not just Ryan versus Barrios. I will be calling Frank the Ghost Martin, Gary Antoine Russell, and Richardson Hitchens before the main event. Yo, it's going to be stacked tonight. We got a great night of boxing on the way. Dally Sanders, you still can't fantasy compare. I don't do fantasy, bro. I don't do fantasy fight. Like, When they start comparing like the Muhammad Ali versus this fight, I don't even get into those conversations. I don't do fantasy, bro. That's not for me. You see, fantasy, to me, is boring because we talking stuff that'll never happen. So we could go at it forever. Forever. It's a never-ending conversation. I don't like that. I like stuff that can actually happen so then I could show you. You see how this shit played out? I told your ass. But something that'll never happen, everybody turns into an expert when it comes to fantasy. Everybody's an expert. You can't be wrong. It's only fantasy. So, nah, I'm not with it, bro. Gabe, can't wait. You calling these fights, my brother? Yes, sir. I'm calling all 3 of these fights in the main event. Dylan Sanders. I never said it wasn't my opinion. Who fought better competition? Does Canelo come back? Does Canelo come back? I mean, I think Canelo's already going to fight for that WBC belt. I think he already... Mauricio Sulaiman wants him to be the champion, so he's going to get his shot right away. Los Angeles. Duarte got better ever since that Garcia fight, in my opinion. Yes, look, I agree with you 100%. Richardson Hitchens is going to deal with a better Oscar Duarte than Ryan Garcia did. And you know that he likes to apply pressure. Sometimes Hitchens get a little bit irresponsible with the defense and get hit with shots that he shouldn't. Dylan Sanders, I just subscribed. Salute, family. I think Hitchens, that's part of why I say Oscar Duarte is going to be a tough fight. Because Richardson Hitchens, I've seen him be a little bit irresponsible and get hit. But every time he get hit, he want to respond fire with fire. And he'll trade leather with you inside the booth. Bam, bam, bam. So that's why I think this thing is going to turn into a slugfest. Just like Gary Antoine Russell. He got a real good defense. He move around. He's good. He got a tough opponent. Tough opponent. And you guys know Gary Antoine Russell love to let the hands go. So tonight, when you hear me calling these fights, you know what you're going to hear? A left to the mouthpiece, a right to the wig piece. Oh, what a shot to the braids. Ooh, the humanity. Devastating blow. That's going to be the type of night it's going to be, y'all. I got to hydrate, drink a lot of water, make sure I don't lose it. I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be ready for tonight, y'all. John Parham, Jay Smith. You remember the Holyfield incident with that woman? It wasn't way worse than Tank. So why nothing ever came of it? I think it was a time and an era when things like that kind of got swept under the rug and kind of got pushed to the back burner. And now we're living in a day and age where your name even is connected in a sentence with domestic violence. And that's it. We're in the social media era. So that thing goes viral. Everybody's talking about it. Back then, when it was Evander Holyfield, social media didn't even exist. Some people didn't even find out about that shit. So some people, that it's like that never even happened. So I think because of that, even with the steroids, when the steroids allegations came upon Evander Holyfield and the circumstantial evidence against him, that was kind of swept under the rug because at the end of the day, there was no social media at that time. There was no... people wasn't informed the way we are today. Dylan Sanders. Haney versus Keyshawn. Who do you think would win it? That's a good fight. That's a good fight. Right now, I'm not sure. Look, this is not an official prediction, but if I have to say right now, I have to go with Devin. He's the guy who, he's Debo Devin at 147. He is Debo in the welterweight division. I think that he finally got to that weight class where his body is right. Now you got the Devin Haney who got that speed, who got that jab, who got that footwork, but he added power. Something that we never really accepted him. He's been called Pillow Hands Devin. And now it's Debo Devin. So I think the welterweight division, he's, the best that he's ever been. Keyshawn Davis would be moving up there to fight him. And he only had one fight at 140. So if they was to fight next, right now, I would say Devin. That's not an official prediction. I still have to make certain evaluations before making that. But right now, if you put me in a corner, I'm saying Devin got to win that. Jay is in their house. Canelo coming back. He wants his WBC necklace. Bullshit ass necklace, bro. Bullshit ass necklace. On Lace, I got Ryan, Russell, and Duarte with the upset. Whoa. It's like that. You got Richard Hitchens being upset tonight. It's going to be a good fight, man. It's going to be a real good one. Libra 809. God bless, brother. How are you? I got Barrios beating Ryan. Who you got? I hate to say it, man. I hate to do it to you, bro, but Ryan Garcia is going to beat Mario Barrios. He's going to become a world champion for the first time in his career. Telling you right now. John Pam, I said Holyfield, not Evander. My bad, auntie. Los Angeles. Do you think the WBC will be finished soon, or this thing will fix itself up? Nah, I think the WBC is on a downhill spiral right now. They going downhill. And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to tell you what kicked off this whole downhill spiral for goofball Mauricio Sulaiman in the WBC. The moment, and you guys that have been here, you know, the moment Mauricio the goofball Sulaiman decided to strip Terrence Crawford, I told y'all, what he did was give an alley-oop to Dana White and His Excellency Turki Al-Awshi. Hey, slam dunk that one, my peoples. Why? Because he gave them one of the best recruiting tools. Now, Dana White, Turkey, they can tell the fighters, yo, if they did that shit to Terrence Crawford, who just got the biggest win in boxing, who was #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, what you think they gonna do to your goofy ass? Nobody know you. You ain't a big star. How you think they gonna do you, fam? So now, you're starting to see more fighters say after WBC. Shakur already said after WBC and put it out there. They tried to charge me $100,000 when they wasn't even involved in the fight, just so I could keep my belt. You can't get more corrupt after WBC. And now, what is Conor Benn saying right now? After WBC, anybody who signs with Zuffa Boxing is saying, yeah, F y'all. We already saw Keyshawn Davis say, I'm not trying to pay no sanctioning fees. I ain't trying to pay that. So that shows us the WBC is on a downhill spiral. Look, they introduced this little chain now. Now, if you're a main event champion, we're going to give you the... It's a little-ass chain. They did a close-up. You see it in the picture? Shit is like this little. But they like, now, we're also going to give you a chain. To me, that chain smells like desperation. Like, yo, we got to do something to make our belt even cooler. Give them a belt, too. Fuck it. Give them a belt. Just business. Salute, family. Bam. Pass the track. Bro, if you look at Holyfield's situation back then, it was ridiculous. Light heavyweight to heavyweight and dominates. I know they're all juice, but Holyfield had to come out his gills. Yo, I'll tell you what, man. Holyfield, his neck was up to here, yo. He had, this muscle was like all the way up to here and shit. God damn. He didn't even have a neck. But he never popped dirty. Holyfield never popped dirty. He beat the system, bro. There's no proof. There's no proof. There's circumstantial evidence that would tell me, yeah, he did that shit. He did that shit. The real King George. Evander's the coolest person I met. Evander, every time I see him, he always look like he a cool dude. Like he get along with everybody. Even fighters that he been in the ring with, he's always cool with them. He's cool with Mike Tyson. After Mike Tyson bit his joint off. K-Biz, have you got Hitchens tonight? Yes, sir. I got him beating Oscar Duarte in a very tough, very competitive fight. Positrack, I got RG on that fight. My nephew loves that kid. So It's a go for Garcia. He's a good role model. John Parham, Jay Smith. Holyfield is Schofield, bro. Got him out. Mama Schofield. John Parham. Jorge, I met him at Kentucky Derby. Hell of a dude. Pasta track. It's crazy. You got to pay to keep the belt. That makes everyone paper champions. No linear. Like, you think about it, bro. Shakur Stevenson fought Teofimo Lopez. This is what made Mauricio the Dummy Sulaiman so corrupt. Shakur Stevenson fought the #1 contender in William Zepeda and beat him, right? He paid the sanctioning fee. He paid it. How you fighting 6-7 months later, whatever it is, in a different division, the WBC belt is not on the line, Shakur wins different title, and you want him to pay $100,000. What the fuck you want him to pay $100,000 for? What are we doing over here? Like, yo, you extorting people and shit for their belt? God damn. $100,000 when your belt was not on the line. The 140 WBC champion did not fight that night. Why you want $100,000 from Shakur? For his belt at 135, they paid his sanctioning fee when he fought at 135. You see, Mauricio Sulaiman is a piece of shit. That's the only way to describe him. That's just the reality. That's just the reality. Los Angeles, Jay Smith. Shout out to my girl, Elizabeth. Yo, shout out to Elizabeth. Is she watching Boxing for Breakfast? If she's not watching Boxing for Breakfast, we giving her half a shout out. Half a shout out to your girl from Los Angeles. Dallas Sanders. Who's your favorite fighter of all time? Mine is Felix Floyd Sweepy. I mean, I got multiple fighters all time that I love. Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, Tito Trinidad, Oscar De La Hoya. There's a lot. There's a lot of fighters that I really, that I put up there. Of course, Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford is very high on my list as one of my favorite fighters of all time. JJ Sendejas. My favorite fighter was Salvador Sanchez. Salvador Sanchez, man, when I watch him, I really enjoy what he brought to the table. And I see how other great fighters admired him. Every time I think about him, man, I feel sad that he went out so early, to a car accident, man. Like, he would have accomplished a lot more than what he actually did. Dylan said, damn, you keep confusing me with Dylan Dennis, bro. Dylan Sanders. What will Tank come back? What will be his first big fight back? I don't know, man, but Tank Davis, I could tell you right now, he will come back. He's only 30 years old. Some people's already writing him off like it's over, bro. He did not murder somebody. I keep telling people, yo, he not arrested for murder. He not arrested for 50 kilos of coke. So yes, domestic violence is serious. Those are serious allegations against him. But he's not going to land in prison for years off of this. So, number one, he escaped a jail sentence, and he'll be back to boxing this year. Number two, he gets a short sentence that he'll serve in like 6 months or 8 months, something like that, and he'll still be back to boxing early next year. Those are my expectations. Two-way this goes. No time in jail, he fights this year, or short time in jail, he's fighting next year. Pasta track. You can't have one favorite fighter unless he's your boy growing up or something. Salvador hasn't gotten hella attention after Tyson mentioned him on Hot Boxing. No, and even Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. has said that Salvador Sanchez was his favorite fighter coming up. That's the guy he used to watch. And when that happened, his name caught fire. A lot of people was talking about him. A lot of people went back and watched some footage. This guy was exceptional. A special fighter of his era. Just business. Why you ever ask Camacho's son why he didn't go to Hot Boxing? Camacho's son, why he didn't go to Hot Boxing? I mean, I don't know. I didn't even know that, you know, if talking to Mike or if that was an option. So I don't know. But that's a good, as a matter of fact, Camacho Jr. is going to be fighting in the summertime. He's going to do an exhibition fight. Dallas Sanders, Roy Jones, I forgot about him. He's one of my favorites ever. The only asterisk around Roy Jones is that he tested positive. And it was supposedly something he got over the counter and all of that stuff. But, it did make me think about it. Like, damn, he tested positive, and, Roy Jones used to be cock diesel. Like, we talking about Evander Holyfield, muscles popping out of everywhere. Roy Jones was like that, too. So him popping dirty kind of made me wonder, is it really just something he got over the counter, or was he on some shit? The real King George. Former Mike Tyson Evander, Butterbean, Butterbean, Ryan Garcia are the ones I like. Pause the track. Is there anyone who challenges SSJ or Shakur Stevenson? Right now, nobody beats Shakur, bro. That's just the reality. Nobody beats Shakur. Unless he was to, like, try to go down too many weight classes and fight somebody that's way too big for him. And he's not going to do that, obviously. It's not like Shakur's going to say, yo, I'm going to fight at 154 my next fight. I'm going to fight at 160. Nah. He ain't going to do that. Forget about that. So my expectations are that Shakur Stevenson is going to fight at 140, fight a catch weight at 147, which would be about 144, or even go back down to 135, because he said, listen, if I don't get a big name like a fight, I'll go back down to 135. I'm a 135-pound fighter. Pass the track. Roy Jones was probably the best ever for real. When he was younger, I've seen him. I've never seen talent like that. He made champions look like Emmys. Listen, Roy Jones, I would compare him to like Michael Jordan in his prime. Because Michael Jordan, it's like he was on a different type of speed than everybody else. And there was just nothing you could do to stop him. You could just enjoy the show. Roy Jones was the same thing. He was on a different type of speed than everybody else. I think the only thing that affected Roy Jones, if you look at his resume, he has a lot of people in there that you don't know. A lot. Why? Because there was a time where he fought, I think at that time he was like at 168 maybe, where there was literally nobody there. There was nobody there. So he literally fought a police officer. A guy that was a police officer. So Roy Jones wasn't in a division where there was a lot of big dogs, a lot of big stars that he could fight. If you think about it, when you think about his resume, the people that stand out, James Toney, that was a great win. Great win. He beat Bernard Hopkins the first time they fought. But then when you start looking at the names, it wasn't that many names on there. So he was obliterating people that we never heard of. Getting them out of there. But if you look at the resume, it's a lot of people that you don't know throughout his career. Smooth Will. Yup. Robert Frazier, the police officer, you see? I still remember that. Like, damn, yo, Roy Jones, the best of the best, bro. This nigga fighting a police officer. What do you expect to happen in that fight? Police officer just lucky to be getting a check to be fighting Roy Jones Jr. He was out there to get beat up. And when Roy Jones fought that police officer, he was already a world champion. A big name, a star. But if you start looking at who else was in that division for him to fight. Was that at 175 or 168? What division he fought the police officer at? Pass the track. Roy Jones' only kryptonite was Gerald McClellan. Even Roy knew Gerald was such a sad story. Look, one fight that didn't happen when it was supposed to was the rematch between Roy Jones and Bernard Hopkins. And I'm going to tell you why. Let me tell you a little story about that fight. The first fight was real competitive. They went back and forth. Roy Jones walked out with the dub. I don't remember if it was a split decision or if he got it by unanimous. But Roy Jones beat Bernard Hopkins, right? But it was a competitive fight. And he ate more punches than we used to seeing him eat. I watched that fight. Hopkins put hands on Roy Jones. Like, because you used to see Roy Jones dominating everybody, right? He didn't dominate Hopkins. He was eating hella shots too. So they were supposed to do the rematch. Roy Jones didn't want to give it to him. And watch this. I still remember on HBO, they had an eliminated tournament where the winner gets to fight Roy Jones Jr. I don't remember all the fighters that were involved, but Bernard Hopkins was one of them. I think it was 4 fighters, and the winner was to get a shot at Jones. And Bernard Hopkins won. And that's it. It's a done deal. He won. He gonna fight Roy Jones next. Yo, Roy Jones didn't give him the fight. He didn't give it to him. So they ended up doing that rematch when they was both like 40 years old or something like that, or 40-something. And Hopkins won, but, you know, they was both washed up. That rematch should have happened when they were still in their prime. The real King George, Lennox Lewis, is another great boxer. Hell yeah. Lennox Lewis is an all-time great. John Parham, I was pissed when Tarver beat Roy. Never liked Tarver. Oh, man, you don't even know John Parham. And it's funny because it's been a minute. Tarver's a super busy man right now, but I've spoken to Tarver privately, and he a cool guy. He a cool guy. He's giving me some advice behind the scenes and everything. And I can tell you, man, when Tarver beat Roy Jones Jr. the first time, man, I really didn't like him, babe. I didn't like him. I'm like, damn, man, this guy. And I felt like Roy Jones just overlooked him. I felt like, nah, man, there's no way. Like, I couldn't accept that Tarver was the better man. And that first fight, if you remember, it played out in a way that some people felt like Roy won, some people felt like Tarver won, but the rematch was necessary. And what an ass whooping Tarver gave him. And Tarver, yo, you remember when the fight was going to start that Tarver was like, yeah, you're going to have any excuse now, Roy? You're going to have any excuse? I was like, the audacity. I hope Roy Jones beat him up and then he just put the baits on Roy. That was crazy. That was crazy. Posse track. I think Gerald could have beaten Roy. Gerald was mean as F. I mean, that would have been a good fight. That would have been a good fight. JJ's in there as Jay Smith. Sugar Ray Robinson was nice to watch. Yeah, man. Sugar Ray Robinson, too. The only thing is, man, that we don't got the type of quality in footage of his fights to enjoy it today in 2026. I wish, you know, for a lot of those older fights, we could see them like now. Like they could have some type of technology that could remaster it so that we can see it the way that fights look now. But they can't. Even when they try to fix it, it looks different. Those older fights. Smooth Will. It was Felix Trinidad, Bernard Hopkins, William Joppy, and Keith Holmes in the tournament. You see? And Bernard Hopkins, the guy. He's the guy who ended up... Nah. I don't think that was it, bro. I'm going to tell you why I don't think that was it, because... No, it was before that. It was before that. I remember those 4. But it was before that. Because if you recall, Tito Trinidad moved up to fight Joppy. And then he moved up again to fight Bernard Hopkins. I think he moved up again. That tournament that I'm talking about for the opportunity to fight Roy Jones was before that, before those fights. That was such a long time ago. I could be wrong, but I have a feeling that it was before that. Jay is that sorry guy old. We all old. Track. I like Tarver, but he wouldn't have beat Roy Jones 5 years earlier. Was that Roy's was it his first KO loss? I think so. I think so because at that time I think Roy had only lost. Who was the first person to beat Roy Jones Jr.? Who was the first guy to beat Roy Jones? Well, I'm not counting the disqualification to Montel Griffith. I'm not counting that. But I can't remember off the top of my... Oh, that was his first L, and then he lost to Tarver. So Tarver is his first official L, because Montel Griffith, he's slick. He gave up knowing that he could get the win. He did that on purpose. He knew he had no chance to beat Roy Jones Jr. No chance whatsoever. Smooth Will. Yo, Montel Griffith. For those of you old enough, you know Montel Griffith slick as hell, yo. He took a shot to the head that he was like he couldn't move, he couldn't get up. And they gave him the fight. Slick as hell, Montel Griffith. I spoke to him one time. And he ended up getting kind of mad at me when I told him about that fight. It's like Conor. Griffin beat James Toney twice. Griffin best Toney twice. He could fight, but he was getting his ass whooped by Roy Jones. And got himself that W like that. The real King George. I tried to meet him at World Winter Special Olympics in Idaho, where I live. They had celebrity floor hockey. He was there. But I missed him. I'm at Johnny Knoxville, though. Johnny Knoxville, man, I got mad respect for him. And all of the guys who did Jackass. Johnny Knoxville became a multi-millionaire for just doing those stunts. And they came up with that, and a lot of people emulating what they invented. John Parham. Tony was one of my favorite dudes. My peoples. Listen up, my peoples, because I got to make sure we all clear. Tonight, I am going to be calling these fights. Going to be calling this entire card. Make sure you tune in for Fight Night with Jay Smith. Appreciate everybody tuning in this morning. Yo, hold on. Y'all know I always do it, man. Shout out to JJ's and their house. John Parham, the real King George, Smooth Will. Slide Counter was in the building. Salute family. Pasta Track in the building. Who else was up in here? Dallin Sanders was in the building. Just Business, Unlaced Kicks, Smooth Will. My peoples. You guys showed up this morning getting this healthy dosage of sweet science. Salute to everybody who tuned in this morning. I appreciate every single one of you guys. And I'm going to see you tonight for Fight Night with Jay Smith, man. This was another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. I'm Jay Smith. I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm going to see you guys later, man. Peace.